question is whether our next reader is a Browns fan or a Steelers fan.
Jets fan.
I'm an Indians fan.
Well, that's baseball. Get away with that. He's from New York, and he was saying that even though he's from New York, he was rooting for the Indians. But then he qualified that by saying because he wanted to see him beat the Red Sox. No, I believe that. Who doesn't want to see that?
He beat him 3 times.
I'm just glad it's all over. Corn cone. Personally, I'd rather be in my own private Pittsburgh. Very much like our next reader, who you just heard a rendition of My Favorite Things by Ray McNeese's nephew.
What? Yeah, sure.
Matt Neese.
Matt Neese. Matt's niece.
Matt Neese.
Which is not really Ray McNeese's nephew. I'm just kidding with you, man. But the reason I played that is that I don't know any of the poets who read up here as featured readers. So I went out of the interweb earlier today at work again and looked for Marc Jampole and found a poem that he had written based on John Coltrane's rendition of a few of my favorite things. And from that reading, I determined, other than I should have been working rather than reading somebody else's poetry, I realized that this is a man who understands bodily fluids and the human circulatory system far more than I do. And understanding that, which you should understand that at least, you would also realize that while he is from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which, to tell you the truth, my family is also from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, from the northeastern sector of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
You're zillion over.
That other than that, he grew up in New York.
Yes.
New York City.
Yep.
The city.
And in growing up from New York City, all I can say is, so what?
Another jazz song.
I grew up in Elyria. Yeah, exactly. And Dizzy Gillespie would be proud, or Miles Davis, or whoever the hell played that thing.
Miles Davis.
I think we got Miles Davis.
Fusion or cool?
Cool.
Cool.
Or fusion. But from what I understand, our next reader, first of all, this is the big important one, and this is one I want y'all to shut the fuck up for. Hey, what?
People down there having fun.
Hey,
shut up. We'll have no fun here. We're having fun.
I'm introducing a man who was nominated for a fucking pushcart prize.
Yeah.
That's right. Yes.
How it is here? You should have stayed in Pittsburgh.
Hey,
you know, this reading reminds me of the early readings here.
I blinded you.
Before we were so self-involved. There's Rob.
Hey, wait till you get on fucking stage, and I bet wait till I get on fucking stage. I hear your heckling voice the whole fucking time.
Why don't you learn how to speak right, and then you can come up here?
Wow.
Oh,
wow.
Let's ask him for a fight.
My balls.
Once into poetry, everybody.
He's our local fellow.
No, let me say something. Rob's okay, but we're not talking about Rob. We're talking about Mark. So, from what I understand, in the early days of, I think it was the 19th century, there were 3 major schools of New York writing, and one of those schools he did not belong to. But, from what I understand also, back then, the idea was that you read poetry as an art form, and that you tried to make something of yourself with it. Mark has made so much of himself with it. when I came in here earlier tonight,
Yeah, we caught him in the bathroom.
the one thing that I remember Mark saying to me was yeah, Steve, and I'm tripping. So if he comes up here and is a little disoriented, you can understand why.
And why ain't he sharing?
Because you don't share if you're from New York. You can get diseases.
Yeah, you do. You just share with a lot of
That
people.
which pleases us with the diseases.
I can't wait to go to Buffalo with you.
Mark went to school, and then he got a job. And then he realized that he could probably make more money consulting people in public relations. I think. Well, I know he consults people in public relations, correct?
Yes.
It's PR.
I mostly do writing.
What's that?
I mostly do writing. I'm
Writing.
mostly a writer.
Well, you're going to come up here and read poetry. Of course, you're a writer. If you said, like me, I'm a computer programmer, and then I'm going to come up and read poetry, I'd be like, fuck off. Like, go back and write.
I'm going up to read code.
Yeah. If $sign T-sack equal $sign corn cones. Current asshole.
While exclamation point.
End paren, start curly brace. Return one line, indent two
I wonder
lines.
why I drink too much these evenings. I don't know.
I won't read that.
We would be like, whoa. And then we'd be like, yeah. Then he'd come up here and read. We'd be like, hey. But I guarantee it's going to be good. You have my personal guarantee as the host. And no matter as the host, you can probably tell, and all of you have been here before, so I don't have to. Well, you've seen me drunk before.
Oh, yes, we have.
The
Pretty picture.
The Saturnalia is coming up, by the way.
Yes.
Which means a lot of lights on trees, which can be construed as a couple of things. And Mark hasn't. Have you written a poem about Saturn, the god of time? Probably not.
But no, I used the Siberian god of time, Kinijin.
Okay,
But I'm not reading that poem.
Kinijin.
I don't have that poem with me.
Okay.
So I
God
can't
damn it,
read
go
that
back to
poem.
Pittsburgh and get it.
Yeah, it's only a 3-hour drive.
But he's the Siberian god of time.
Siberian god of time.
Yeah,
The
Kinijin.
way this intro is going, you got.
Well, I am stretching time out here
Yeah.
because what I'm basically doing is I'm getting things ready for when Mark comes up here and reads. We have a van full of strippers parked outside. They're going to come in and surround y'all.
Down tonight. That's what they were saying. It's on
Right.
West 25th and Meyer. That was a strip club.
Oh, was
Oh, I gave them the wrong address.
Half naked.
See? They
No,
had
it
that
was you.
10-foot rule.
You
See
gave
what
them the
happens?
address.
I'm a
What's closer, they would have been able to put it out.
God.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this guy's been to France. He's been to Lithuania. He's been to Togo. Don't know if he's been to Pakistan, but there's a lot of shit going on in Pakistan right now. It's pretty important. He's been to the Literary Cafe, Corn Cones tonight. I know that he's been over there, and I know he's been over here. And he all belongs in to be in your ears and stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a very great thing when we can bring in a poet from outside of Cleveland, from outside of being local, and especially someone who has what Marc Jampole has, and can share with us what he can share. So I want you to shut the fuck up and listen to him. But if you don't feel like doing that, there's pads and pens up here, and grab one and write. So enjoy yourselves, and please. Give it up, you lazy corn cones, for Marc Jampole!